The longer you are a barber, the more you start to realize there's just some haircuts that are money makers, right? That you could do in your sleep and will make you a lot because you do them so much. And today I'm going to be showing you how to do a taper, the biggest money maker of them all. So we began this haircut by clipping up his curls up top, and we're just going to deal with the hair right under. So we're going to be debulking the sides here with a 2-guard, being sure to keep the top of the taper as dark as possible because I want the curls to be able to fall over and have a hair that is the same shade of darkness, because it's just going to give it the illusion of it all being completely blended. So now we're going to come in and establish our bald line with our trimmer. So I'm starting this line at the end of the eyebrow and where the ear connects to the head, and we're gonna go ahead and bald out the bottom. Very simple, very easy. Now this is actually my cousin who I'm cutting here, and when I was cutting his hair, we were keeping the top and the sides a lot fuller when we were doing the taper, because you know, when people tend to grow their hair out, the more they realize they wish they would have kept more hair on their head, right? Meaning that they shouldn't have made the undercut as thick or as big as it is. So I personally would not have made the undercut so high up, but since that's what he has now, we're gonna go ahead and roll with it because he had went to another barber and kind of took it up, you know. So we're just going to keep it at that. We're not going to go through an ugly grow back process. Now we're going to come in with the clipper closed, getting rid of that line in between. And as you can see, this line is already starting to disappear. So a lot of you guys are probably watching this video like, man, Dre, I saw you posted that short with the wall vapors. Why are you not using them? This video was recorded before I actually got the vapors. So you already know the next tutorial, I will be using the wall vapors. But in this video, we're going to be using the JRLs. And now above that lever open, we're gonna come in with that 1-guard open, still giving it that round, that burst shape. And I like to make my tapers that way because it just allows me to keep the edges a little darker, you know, so that when we come and put the line in there, it really pops and make that taper pop as well. And you'll notice every time I establish a guideline with my taper, I do the same thing with the beard or the facial hair on the side. So I'm hitting that line with the 1-guard closed, being sure to comb and brush down every pass of the clipper, because you know, when you're cutting and you're fading upwards, you're kind of pushing the hair up, and most hair just won't fall back down. So you got to make sure that you allow it to lay in its natural position, so that way you just can ensure that it is truly blended. And that color on my clips that give it like that yellowish tint, it's from the airbrush color, right? Because a lot of the times we're spraying the color on the lineup, and when people have long hair like this, that's what I'm using as the clips to hold it up. So that's all that is. It's not dirty, it's just dried up color. So now for the line in between that was still there, we're going to use our 1/2 guard with the lever closed. And you'll notice I'm utilizing a lot of the corner of the blade, and what that allows me to do is get into those dark spots and areas that I wasn't able to get with you know, the bigger guards. So if you want to detail blends, a lot of times using the corner will get rid of those stubborn lines that you can't seem to get rid of. And even after the 1/2 guard, I still see some work that we need to do. So I took it off and I'm coming in with the blade open. And we're almost there. This taper is already starting to come together very nicely. So now we're just using the 1.5 there on the facial hair to blend it in. And we're going to bring that right into the taper up top. So I have my lever closed, and we're just inching up at that taper slightly, trying to flick out as much as possible, so that way we don't need to you know, do too much work after this step. And already it's blending nicely. It's keeping the weight at the top of the taper, because what the previous barber did is they took this 1.5 all the way up to that part line, which gave it like a really shaved look, and that's not what we want to do. Now we're dropping back down to the one guard open, but we already got the majority of our steps. At this point, I'm just being a little picky, trying to detail as much as I can. And after we do some detailed clipper over comb, we're going to use our one guard just to taper down the very bottom of this part, because we are going to try to grow back the behind the ear portion, but I want to taper down those little hairs at the nape line so that way we can get a nice crispy lineup when it's time. So we're establishing our bald line on the neck taper just like we did on the sides. And it's a little below the bottom of the ear, and we're going straight across. Now the reason I say straight across is, as you already noticed, it already looked kind of round or bursted, and that's just because how the neck is shaped, right? It kind of comes out, so naturally any guideline that you put in is gonna have that, you know, arch to it, so you don't need to exaggerate it. We just went straight across. Now we're coming in with that lever open above that bald line. And if you're enjoying this video thus far but feel like you've been watching YouTube videos for a while and you just really want to take that next step, go a little more in depth, I have some good news. I have an online training program called Dre Clipper Hands Academy, where I just break down a lot more strategically the exact system that I use of cutting to give out those Instagram quality cuts consistently, right? So I share with you my system, tips, tricks, and techniques to growing, you know, your barber business, getting clientele, but ultimately just elevating your hair cutting skills. And you're also thrown into a community of barbers who have enrolled in the course as well, that aspire to go to that next level too. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go ahead to the link in my description and tap on Dre Clipper Hands Academy to join my online training program. I hope to see you there. So right now I have my one guard open right above that lever open. Now when it coming in with that two guard open, this will be the biggest guard that we use, because again, we want to keep the weight. You can see back here, they took that part line way too high. So I'm coming in with that two and flicking out. And now under that two guard, we have our 1.5 open, and then we'll close it if it isn't getting rid of that line directly below it. And you can already see that blend kind of start to take effect. And for that weight at the top of the taper, what we're going to do to blend into it but not cut off too much is some clipper over comb. So now to get rid of that line right under that 1.5, we have our half guard lever open. And just like we did with the 1.5, we'll close that lever notch by notch until it is completely blended out. And now let's get into that clipper over comb. So we're coming in with our comb and flaring out, and any hair sticking out of that comb we'll go ahead and get rid of. It is best to use a comb that is lighter, so that way it has contrast with the hair and you can just see exactly what you need to cut. So that's why I like to use the wall white comb, and that taper is looking nice, especially once we put the line on it. So we're starting at the top of the taper, and then we're gonna work our way down, or the top of the ear, and then we'll work our way down to the bottom of his nape. But that way at the top is just gonna look so much better once the curls fall right on top of it. But as you can see, I'm just tracing that out, trying not to take this line, you know, all the way up, make it look super unnatural. We want to keep it as wide as possible while at the same time getting it nice and sharp as well. And already that taper pops so much more. And while we're on this side, we'll go ahead and line up his arch. So we're going to start at the top of the arch, and then we'll go to the bottom and connect those 2 points in the middle, giving us that nice round shape that most people like on their arches or their C-cups or hooks, whatever you want to call it. Keeping it as natural as possible while getting it sharp as well. And that taper is popping. It keeps the edges dark as well as that neckline sharp as well. And now we're going to go to the other side and do the same exact thing. So you can see right here, all that excess hair at the top behind the ear, I kind of push those up and I'm lining up the hairs directly under it. I don't want to cut those because again, we want to let those grow a little fuller. Because if not, it'll just kind of look like a palm tree, you know, just hanging over the actual I can't even think what it's called. Anyway, the stem of the tree. And we don't want that. We want to have a nice balanced wedge look that kind of builds out to a flare. That neck taper is hitting. And now we'll go to the arch just like we did on the other side. Top of the arch, bottom of the arch, and connect it in the middle. And now once we get to the front, we're gonna go ahead and knock down those baby hairs to a 1.5, going with the grain. That's just to smooth those hairs down while at the same time keeping it dark enough to match the rest. And all that is bang, right? So his hairline is directly under that. So all that excess overhang hair, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of, moving straight into his left corner. And I already know I'm gonna get some comments like, man, he's pushing them back. But at the end of the day, every lineup is a pushback. This is definitely not an excess pushback, which is what most people say when they mean when they say pushback, right? All those are bangs, and in order to get a straight lineup that lasts, we have to cut those off. And we're stopping once we meet in that corner, framing it out. And this haircut already looks more balanced than what it did before, just by keeping that, you know, shade of darkness on the undercut. And I didn't get a chance to record the right side of his lineup. It was I thought it was recording, but I guess it wasn't. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the enhancement. So this is a Kiss Express and alcohol mix, and we're spraying it on the lineup lightly, and then we'll darken it up as needed. This is just to elevate, you know, the lineup a little more, get it ready to post on Instagram. Because at the end of the day, you know, enhancements are temporary, but so are haircuts, right? So if we're able to provide, you know, experience for clients that makes them feel like money, why not do that? Even if it lasts for the day, 2 days, whatever. Because realistically, the haircut only lasts a week, 2 weeks max, you know. And now we're going to frame out the bottom of the beard, which is already going to make everything look so much fuller just by framing out the bottom. So we want to get the back of the beard nice and sharp. Then we'll go to the bottom and do the same thing. But from this angle, that taper is looking photoshopped. And obviously it's not because we're on video. But that taper is looking super clean, super tough. And now we're going to come in with the razor. And you want to stretch the skin in the opposite direction of which you are going with the razor. So you'll see I'm pulling away from the hairline as I move my razor towards the hairline. This just creates that tension so we don't cut or nick our client. And it's bringing any excess color that might have been some overspray to the line as well, sharpening and cleaning everything up. And now we're gonna go ahead and line up the beard. So I'm gonna have my client blow a bubble, establish the line at the bottom, and then we'll go to the top and connect those 2 points in the middle. and that's automatically gonna make the beard look a lot fuller, a lot sharper. Now we'll shave the top of the beard as well. That thing is looking super clean. And I don't know if you guys remember what he came in looking like, but this is how he left leaving. Family, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. And again, if you want to go more in depth in your haircut education, join my online training program, Drake Clipper Hands Academy. But like always, I will catch y'all next time. Peace.